Pat Gelsinger's return to Intel as CEO in 2021 was seen by many as a homecoming. Gelsinger, a 30-year veteran of the company, had spent his early career helping build Intel into the world's leading chipmaker. He left in 2009, but his reputation as a brilliant engineer and visionary leader remained. Intel was facing significant challenges, and many hoped Gelsinger was the one to lead them back to glory. Gelsinger's return was met with enthusiasm from investors and employees alike. He brought with him a deep understanding of Intel's culture and a bold vision for its future. His message was clear: Intel needed to reclaim its position as the undisputed leader in the semiconductor industry. Gelsinger's first move was to announce a major strategic shift. Intel would invest heavily in manufacturing, building new factories in the United States and Europe. This was a direct challenge to the industry trend of outsourcing chip production to Asia, particularly to Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or TSMC. Gelsinger's goal was to make Intel the world's leading provider of advanced chips, not just for its own products but for other companies as well. This ambitious plan, dubbed IDM 2.0, was met with both excitement and skepticism. When Gelsinger took the helm at Intel, he faced a daunting set of challenges. The PC market, long Intel's bread and butter, was shrinking. Competition from rivals like AMD was heating up, eroding Intel's once dominant market share. Perhaps most importantly, the rise of artificial intelligence had created a massive new market for chips, one in which Intel was lagging behind. NVIDIA, a company that had once been a niche player in graphics processing units, or GPUs, had emerged as the dominant force in AI chips. NVIDIA's GPUs were specifically designed for the complex calculations required by AI algorithms, and they quickly became the industry standard. Intel, meanwhile, was still primarily focused on its traditional CPU business. The challenges facing Intel were not just external. The company had also been struggling with its own internal issues. Years of underinvestment in manufacturing had left Intel's factories behind those of its rivals. Moreover, Intel's once vaunted chip design teams seemed to have lost their edge, struggling to keep up with the rapid pace of innovation in the industry. Gelsinger recognized the severity of the situation, and he knew that drastic action was needed. His IDM 2.0 strategy was a bold gamble, one that would require massive investment and a fundamental shift in Intel's corporate culture. It was a gamble that many observers believed Intel had to take if it wanted to survive. Gelsinger's IDM 2.0 strategy was a radical departure from the industry trend of outsourcing chip manufacturing. It was a bet that Intel could regain its manufacturing edge and become the world's leading provider of advanced chips. The plan had three main pillars: rebuild Intel's manufacturing base. This meant investing billions of dollars in new factories in the United States and Europe. The goal was to create the most advanced chip manufacturing facilities in the world, capable of producing chips with the smallest transistors and the highest performance. Become a major provider of chips for other companies. Traditionally, Intel had primarily focused on designing and manufacturing chips for its own products. Gelsinger's plan called for Intel to become a major supplier of chips to other companies, including its rivals. Focus on key growth markets. Gelsinger recognized that Intel needed to be more selective in its investments. He identified key growth markets such as AI, cloud computing, and edge computing as areas where Intel needed to focus its resources. The IDM 2.0 strategy was a massive undertaking, and it was not without its risks. Building new factories was incredibly expensive, and there was no guarantee that Intel would be able to attract enough customers to justify the investment. Moreover, the chip industry was notoriously cyclical, and a downturn in the market could quickly make Intel's new factories unprofitable. Despite the risks, Gelsinger was convinced that IDM 2.0 was the right strategy for Intel. He argued that it would give Intel greater control over its supply chain, reduce its dependence on other companies, and allow it to capture a larger share of the growing market for advanced chips. Section 4. The board acts a vote of no confidence. Despite Gelsinger's best efforts, Intel's financial performance continued to deteriorate in 2024. The company's share price plummeted and investors grew increasingly impatient. Behind closed doors, the board of directors began to express doubts about Gelsinger's leadership and the viability of his IDM 2.0 strategy. By December 2024, the board had seen enough. They decided to force Gelsinger out, believing that a change in leadership was necessary to turn the company around. The decision was made swiftly, with little warning to Gelsinger or the public. It was a stunning fall from grace for a CEO who had been heralded as a savior just 3 years earlier. The board's decision to remove Gelsinger was driven by a number of factors. First and foremost, they were unhappy with the company's financial performance. Intel's revenues and profits were declining, and its share price had lost more than half its value since Gelsinger had taken over. The board was concerned that Gelsinger's IDM 2.0 strategy was too expensive and risky, and that it was not delivering the desired results. Second, the board had lost confidence in Gelsinger's ability to lead the company. They felt that he was not moving quickly enough to address the challenges facing Intel, and that he was not being transparent with the board about the company's problems. There were also concerns about Gelsinger's management style, which some board members found to be too autocratic and abrasive. Section 5, Wall Street reacts, a moment of truth for Intel.